There's something inherently appealing about movie villains. Though we almost always root for the good guys when it comes to watching movies, we also take a strange pleasure observing villains going about their bloody business, chewing the scenery, and, straight up killing people. Hans Gruber, Shere Khan, Nurse Ratched, anyone ever played by Jack Nicholson, history is full of great baddies. Unfortunately, Hollywood doesn't always produce the goods, offering limp imposters who aren't fit to star opposite our heroes. I'm Adam from Whatculture.com, and here are the 10 most disappointing villains in movie history. Number 10, Bane, The Dark Knight Rises. Bane has never really worked on screen, either in Batman and Robin or in The Dark Knight Rises. And to be fair, in Christopher Nolan's movie, he was never going to match up to Heath Ledger's iconic and utterly mesmerizing interpretation of the Joker, but even without that parallel, Tom Hardy's take on the iconic villain eventually amounted to nothing more than a memorable voice attached to an unmemorable character. Now, in Bane's defense, he wasn't really given much of anything to do other than advance the plot, but even so, we spent nearly 2.5 hours staring at an expressionless man in a mask. Even his death seemed half-assed, as though he was killed off as an afterthought when the plot shifted gears. What makes it so disappointing is that in the comics, Bane had all the agency in the world. He crippled the Bat, and he did it through his own damn brain, not by being someone else's puppet. Number 9, Darth Maul, Star Wars Episode 1. Star Wars fans got super excited about Darth Maul in the build-up to the movie's 1999 release, because look, the guy's got a freaking double sword. What more do you want? Well, for him to say things or do stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, that fight is pretty badass, but don't you wish George Lucas could have found a way to make this guy a little bit more than just a broody sword wielder? Number 8, The Joker, Suicide Squad. Because I love me that sweet, sweet internet hate. Look, the Joker is the most iconic supervillain of all time. Of all time. And when the trailers dropped for Suicide Squad, it looked like Jared Leto's take on the Crown Prince of Crime would be something to see. Well, it probably would have been had the studio not allegedly removed most of the good stuff in the edit. With reports of Leto being well and truly weird on set, as is his gimmick, fans expected greatness but were left with nothing more than a quirky thug whose only distinguishing feature was occasionally holding people's faces.
I can't wait to show you my toys.
Number 7, Ozymandias, Watchmen. If you know the comic, you'll be aware that Ozymandias was described in the original book as the smartest man on the planet, which is a lie. That's obviously Chris Pine. Although Matthew Good is good in the role, he never quite feels right as Ozymandias, who is supposed to convince us that he is the greatest genius to have ever existed, but more than that. See, the genius thing about Ozymandias as a character is he is so smart, he's worked out that this is the only way to save the world. At his core, he is a good man who's deluded himself into thinking he's doing the right thing, probably because it is. And the problem with Good's performance is that he's incredibly slimy and overtly villainous, and that doesn't add up with the character. Number 6, King Koopa, Super Mario Bros. Imagine yourself as a child of around 10 years old, eager and excited to go and see the new Super Mario Bros. Movie. Bob Hoskins is Mario, hooray! John Leguizamo is Luigi. Oh, yeah, okay, yes. And then picture the moment that King Koopa steps out, a character who, for all intents and purposes, is supposed to be a giant and rather terrifying lizard monster played by Dennis Hopper. Of course, nowadays, King Koopa would be 100% CGI, but since that wasn't possible, instead we got a character who was 0% accurate and 100% tongue. Oh. Number 5, The Kraken, Clash of the Titans. In a blockbuster packed to the brim with problems, it probably seems kind of insane to complain about this villain, but come on, it's the Kraken! Its release means that you've annoyed a god badly enough to justify a giant, terrifying, and probably unstoppable ocean beast coming out and killing everyone. Release the Kraken is something you never ever want to hear. However, as soon as he's released... First of all, him emerging from the depths takes about an hour, which is fine, build up the hype, and then he's vanquished almost instantly. We waited the whole movie for Liam Neeson to release that. Poor form. Number 4, Galactus, Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer. If you're a fan of the Fantastic Four and Marvel Comics in general, you know that the villain Galactus is of major importance, and not just in their canon, but with regards to the entire Marvel universe. I mean, this guy has the biggest and the very best hat in the universe, that's true, look at it, and also he has the power to eat planets. So when Galactus appeared in Rise of the Silver Surfer as a bad cloud, and not at all the immense and awesome being that he is in the comics, it's something of a kick in the teeth. Number 3, Mr. Freeze, Batman and Robin. Mr. Freeze is a gifted cryogenicist. Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze is a soundboard of ice puns. And here they are.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age! Stay cool, bird boy. Let's kick some ice. All right, everyone, chill. Chill. I'm afraid that my condition has left me cold to your pleas of mercy.
That's awful. Awful and Robin. Number 2, Venom Spider-Man 3. Given Venom's status as one of Spider-Man's most infamous enemies, after all, he is the dark shadow of Spider-Man, there should have been so much more thought put into the casting process here. After all, Eddie Brock in the comics, Topher Grace. But to be honest, the fact that the director didn't even want the character in the movie in the first place, that speaks volumes. It also explains why he was shoehorned into the narrative, given there were already 2 other villains driving the story. There wasn't nearly enough time to explore them all, and Venom, unsurprisingly, was the victim. Number 1, Darth Vader, Star Wars Episodes 1 to 3. The whole point of the Star Wars prequels actually existing in the first place was as a way to show moviegoers how, in detail, Anakin Skywalker went from plucky young kid living on a rock to the more machine now than man super icon that is Darth Vader, Sith Lord and all-round galactic sadist. And there's no denying that Vader, the early years, failed to live up to anything the fans might have conjured up in their heads. Now don't blame Hayden Christensen. Anakin's journey from mop-haired child to multiple child murderer was written awkwardly and utterly unconvincingly. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter here. I'm Adam from Whatculture.com, and I'll see you soon.